too. Yes.
Mr. Leader, the January 6th committee is going to release their final report next week. First of all, do you and your conference plan any sort of rebuttal to it? Do you have plans after you take the majority to look into the work of the January 6th committee? I know you've already sent Chairman Thompson a letter to that, but if you could provide any specifics to that. And then finally, are you concerned that you or any of your colleagues may be referred for criminal contempt for ignoring their speech?
I'll answer your last question first. No, not at all. We did nothing wrong. Will we release? Yes, for the information we have, and we'd want to get to the bottom. We'd want to not to play politics like the Democrats pick and choose, so it'd be interesting to see. Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering, with the delays in steering for contested races, if you've made any decisions on when those decisions are going to be made on a date?
Today we'll have a meeting when it comes to the House rules, and we'll be taking steering up as we move forward. Yes.
Earlier you mentioned that you want to bring up appropriations bills and have an open debate about them. Will you commit to next year, if you are speaker, bringing up all spending bills under an open rule?
No, but I'll bring up all bills in committee open, so yes.
Are you considering changing the rule for the motion to vacate, and how would that affect things like the appropriations process or stability going ahead? Is that something you would consider, opening that up?
You know, in conference, our House rules and our conference rules changed motion to vacate, that 50% of the conference can bring it up and move it that way. Yes.
Do you believe that Republicans have a better chance of brokering a bill during this Congress, or is it something that you would rather tackle in the next Congress?
Not to be facetious, but I think we'd be much stronger in the majority than sitting in the minority. Yes.
Donald Trump has endorsed you for Speaker. Do you plan to endorse him for President above all other candidates?
We haven't talked about that yet, but one thing I do know, if we had President Trump in, we wouldn't have inflation. We wouldn't have a border that's run away. We wouldn't have gas prices as high as it is, and we probably would have greater stability in the world. We wouldn't have China taking over others. Yes.
With Democrats in control of the Senate, what can Republicans do to fulfill their promise of blocking the forthcoming IRS funding?
Well, we first move a bill that repeals the 87,000 IRS agents. I'd like to see the Democrats who want to defend that. I don't think the American public like that. But it also goes to the question we're talking about today. We'd have a stronger hand in doing that for the American public in an appropriation process where we're in the majority. It's just one of the other factors that we can deal with. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Leader, you mentioned earlier about giving the American people a voice in these negotiations. Are you saying Republicans in the House were cut out of these negotiations, or
yes.
But
I'm saying it's more than just. I'm saying it's more than just the Republicans in the House. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what the baseline they agreed to?
No, I'm asking you.
No, I know, but I'm asking you a question as a reporter.
No.
You're an American.
I understand what you're saying, and you're saying that it's not public and people don't understand.
I'm just trying to understand if Republicans were able to be in the room or if they were being cut out of this negotiation.
Well, let me be very clear. If you, as a reporter that covers the House of Representatives, is about to pass trillions of dollars and you don't even know what the baseline is yet, and they want to vote on it next week, I don't think it's just us being cut out. I think the American public's being cut out. And if two people who are deciding it aren't going to be held up to the voters, do you feel good about that as an American, not about as a reporter? I don't think anybody in America would feel good about it. Why, if we're going to make a decision on funding government when we have more than a $31 trillion debt, when we spent more than $100 billion in this new fiscal year just on interest alone, we have runaway inflation we haven't seen in 40 years based upon the mismanagement and spending of the Democrats, why would you feel comfortable moving forward that way? I don't think this is a partisan issue. I think this is about saving the country. Thank you all. If I don't see you before, all have a very merry